UFC 185 Pettis vs. Dos Anjos brings the UFC back to Dallas for the first time since UFC 171 in 2014. It features a pair of championship title fights. Anthony Pettis will defend his lightweight belt against Rafael dos Anjos in one half of the main event, while Carla Esparza will try to hold off Joanna Jedrzejczyk in defense of the women's strawweight title. Pettis, who is 18-2, won the 155-pound belt in August 2013. Then, due to injury, couldn't defend it until December 2014 when he became the first man to finish Gilbert Melendez. Pettis is a kickboxer and a spectacular striker, but he also has 8 submissions under his belt, so you have to be careful when you go to the mat with the champ. The challenger, Dos Anjos, who is 23-7, has won 3 in a row, including a first-round KO of former champ Benson Henderson, and then he dominated Nate Diaz in striking and on the ground. Pettis has also won belts everywhere he has gone, but Dos Anjos is a dangerous challenger. Esparza, who is 10-2, won the inaugural women's strawweight title in December, and she was also the first strawweight championship in Invicta FC. She is a world-class jiu-jitsu artist, but Esparza has 3 TKO KO wins and her knockout power cannot be overlooked. Jedrzejczyk, who is 8-0, has yet to lose in her pro career, and she has 2 decision wins since moving to the UFC, but her split decision over Claudia Gadelha was controversial, so she will have something to prove against the champion. Hendricks, who is 16-3, is looking for another shot at the title after losing it to Robbie Lawler in their rematch, while Brown, who is 19-2, lost to Lawler in a title eliminator that led to Hendricks' first meeting with the current champ. These two might have the heaviest hands in the 170-pound division, but Hendricks is also a former All-American wrestler, and Brown has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so do not be surprised if this ends up on the mat. Nelson, who is 20-9, has lost 3 of his last 4 and might be fighting for his UFC contract, which has always been up in the air, as he has had problems with President Dana White in the past. However, Nelson is a fan favorite. His right hand is still very powerful, and he is an excellent jiu-jitsu artist for his size. On the other hand, he might struggle to get Overeem, who is 38-14 and 1-C, to the mat, as Overeem might be the most impressive physical specimen in the UFC, and when his head is in the game, he can be a beast. He has won titles in Strikeforce and Dream, along with a K1 kickboxing title, but the UFC belt still eludes Overeem, who needs a dominant win over Nelson to get into the title picture. Carriazo, who is 17-6, lost to champion Demetrius Johnson in September 2014, and while he looks to outwork his opponents with 12 decision wins, he has been submitted 3 times, so he has to beware if and when this fight goes to the ground. Cejudo, who is 7-0, is looking to move up the ranks at 125 pounds after fighting at 135 pounds in December, and he has won gold in freestyle wrestling at the 2018 Olympics, so he might look to take Carriazo down. Cejudo also has 3 TKO KO wins, so there is power there as well.